my thingy because I've been running around. But I opened up Spike #1.
Yeah.
And I opened it up on the page where he's talking about how Twilight was written about him, kind of. And I was like,
so Twilight thing, yes.
I was like, this is amazing.
Yes, that's Brian. Brian is incredible.
Dude, Twinkle, right?
Twinkle.
Yeah.
Brian is incredible. He manages to poke fun without really insulting anybody.
Yeah.
And it's a nice little snark moment for Spike to sort of talk about how this is not how anybody who's read After the Fall knows that's not how any of that happened.
No, yeah.
But it was a nice little nod to the different kinds of vampire stuff we've got going on right now, which is clearly you've got everything from Twilight to Angel and Buffy to True Blood. So it's a kind of big range going on right now. I love the Spike series in a big way.
How many issues have you read so far?
Wow, I think up to 5. Every single one of them makes me laugh out loud when I read them right away because it's Brian strips and I can't.
Am I turning a bit green right now?
They make me laugh, but they also have such. One of the things I think Brian is really just amazing at is he's very funny, but he still manages to get to the core emotional moments in a way that's really touching and important, and that really makes you feel connected to the characters. And it's not really an easy thing to do to be both those things.
Yeah.
And that's really the Spike series. I think is going to do stuff that I know a lot of fans are going to be really surprised, but I think extraordinarily proud of the character for how he comes out at the end.
Well, he just knows Spike in a way that many people just would kind of not even think.
No, he gets what he just does. So not only do we have Spike, we've got Beta George. Well, I love makes floating psychic fish.
I'm getting a Beta George tattoo soon.
I love him. And we've also got Beck in there, who is definitely having some issues.
Beck's awesome.
And she's pretty great. And I think as most people are aware, with some of the explicit stuff now, that Priscilla is the character that comes back.
And she's quite naked.
Yes, she is in that issue. Yeah. We felt it was really important with our last sort of take on Spike that we come full circle, and Priscilla kind of has to be there. And that's a character we haven't seen in a while since her 2-issue little thing that Juliet Landau wrote, and with Brian.
Yeah.
And she's a really fascinating character. So seeing her in the dynamic and just how her and Spike are together is something that's really fascinating, and I think it's going to be interesting for fans to see them interact when they finally.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
And I love Brian Lynch, but let's get back to you guys for a second.
Sure.
He's my favorite comic writer, but I love you guys. So,
thank you.
All right, 36 and 37. In those 2 issues, you finally addressed the Polly being a ball.
The Polly.
Yeah, you had a Star Trek reference, which I told her about instantly. So many moments packed into these 2 issues. It was like a cheer fest for me.
Well, we really felt like, especially with those, which we were taking completely, because of some of the other stuff, Bill had some stuff written out already.
Yeah.
Those we really were like, all right, you know what? We kind of wanted to do a little fan service. Honestly, there was definitely a deliberate, you know what? I think fans have been reading through a whole lot of stuff, and they're definitely looking for some of these moments. So let's give them that. Let's give them that interaction. Let's remind people of where these characters have been and the relationship that they have and how they've been. I mean, I think there was a couple of things we referenced. Spike when he was the crazy in the basement, phase.
Yes.
Things like that. I feel like reminding people of that, even people who are familiar with them, it really helps kind of keep that context and that group and that kind of.
It ties it back to everything.
Yeah, it really does, and that was something that we wanted to do.
Need those ties, I feel like.
And the characters need to have that kind of quick, hey, guess what? Boom. These are people who know each other really well, and they know how to push each other's buttons like no one else.
Yeah, because it isn't really addressed that much, but they kind of live together.
Yes, they do.
So they know, you know, and they can be snippy all the time.
Yes. I've always I've always thought of Angel and Spike as kind of like an old married couple.
They do argue.
They have that bickery, kind of a thing, and Spike is always a lot quicker on that than Angel is. Even Angel has his own little moments.
He does. All right, last question. Angel the series, TV-wise, ended with a crazy giant moment.
Yes.
How are you guys going to give a new final?
Well, that is the big challenge. And this last arc obviously needs to be huge and epic, so it's going to end epic. I don't think it's going to end quite as cliffhangery, although I happen to love that ending.
Oh, I think it's the best episode of TV.
Yeah, I think it's incredible. But we definitely want it to be satisfying for people, so they aren't just feeling like, oh, what happened? It's definitely going to be a very satisfying thing, but it's going to be big. It's going to have a huge importance for that character and everybody else. And, it's going to come back to Angel and Conrad like it should.
Am I going to cry fan tears?
I think so. I hope so. That is the goal, is to make people cry manly tears.
I'll tell you if you make me cry.
Okay.